Hello guys, Tops here. Today, how does throwing mastery works? So throwing mastery, as all the masteries, reduces the fatigue by 25%, which is necessary because throwers use a lot of fatigue. Throwing is really fatigue intensive because you throw twice for a lot of fatigue. Okay, the damage is increased by 30% when attacking at 2 tiles distance and is increased by 20% when attacking from 3 tiles distance. So throwing mastery is, I think, one of the only masteries who directly increases damage, which is pretty nice. And then the throwing weapons go to like pretty high damage on close range, especially with Duelist. So it's a nice pickup. So if you want to make a thrower, probably what I like to do is stuff like fast adaptation, maybe quick hands, gifted, or backs and belts, and then right away to throwing mastery as soon as possible. I like to get to throwing mastery as soon as possible if I use that, because throwing mastery is just a level 5. Makes such a difference on the damage output and on the fatigue use, because you need a lot of fatigue to keep throwing. I think throwing weapons, they are super fatigue intensive. They use like at least 15 or even 20 fatigue for one throw. So you need to have mastery in order to keep throwing your stuff. Backs and belts, quick hands, also stuff that is mandatory. And yeah, damage is really nice. A lot of people like it. There are popular builds between the archer thrower, crossbow thrower, pole arm thrower. There are all kinds of hybrids. And I think the throwing weapons are probably, the thrower, one-handed duelist is also something. That's kind of cool. So there are a lot of possible hybrid builds between ranged and melee. And let's try to go into in-game and find a thrower. I tend to not play with throwers that much. But they are quite nice in terms of damage output. Stack well with fast adaptation because they can shoot twice. Poachers might have a throwers in my poacher run. Do I have a thrower in my poacher run? Let's check. Is there a poacher? A thrower, I mean. Looks like no. We have a Battleforge Archer therefore. I remember. It was kind of funny. Battleforge Archer instead. Yeah. Oh, crossbow polearm is here. Yeah. See, there's no reason that you don't make like a hybrid with like crossbow throwing or bow throwing. I tend to like, when I find an archer who has like a good range skill, right? So like 2-star archer, I like to make him into a dedicated sniper. But of course you can give him throwing mastery with quick hand, backs and belts and duelist. That's also kind of like my problem, why I tend to not like doing this on my archers, because it's 1 perk, 2 perks, 3 perks, 4 perks. It's 4 additional perks that I have to spend. And especially on my bow, the bow struggle with damage. I want to stack other damage perks, right? So Headhunter, Executioner, and when I start doing funny stuff like Battleforge, Brawny, I have a funny video about my Battleforge Archer. This is not a serious build. This just goes to show that you can do stupid shit in Battle Royale and have a lot of fun and still win the game, right? Yeah, but like a lot of people, they prefer their throwers because they have super high damage on close ranged and even on long ranged, right? Their damage output, like that's the thing. Their range is quite short, but like they have additional hit chance as well. So like they hit relatively reliable even with lower skill, and they hit hard. So that's kind of good. It's kind of like pole arms early on. It's relatively reliable damage from your backlines, throwers and pole arms. That's like your early mid-game reliable damage, same as crossbows maybe. And you can make the frontline. I remember I had one specific run where I had frontline throwers. That was kind of funny because if you are in the first row, you are more likely to get your plus 30 damage when you attack from 2 tiles away, because you're always in the front line. Of course, then you have to increase your defensive stats because you will get engaged in combat. So this is more for like the melee version of this build where you just one-handed melee weapon with duelist and then throwing mastery. So throw a melee duelist one-handed. And then there's the backline build where you just are a polearm guy with throwing mastery. So you throw on short distance, then you go to the polearm and start slashing, or you have crossbow and throwing, right? So you have the long range with the crossbow with high armor damage, and then the short range throwing stuff. Or you just go for archer throwing stuff where you have like the long range precision shots to kill down the necromancers, and then you still have high DPS for like close quarter combat, all that kind of stuff. So many combos that you can do with throwing masteries. Again, I tend to not do that much, but that's not because it's bad, that's just because I don't do it as much. Yeah, and guys, please write me down in the comments below how you use your throwers, and the combination are endless, I think. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Have a nice day. Bye bye.